Hello, fellow heroes. It is I, Wow, 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 CHIMA. Oh my goodness. Sorry, I didn't mean to get into your face like that. Hello, hello, hello. It is. It's time. The final episode of the cooking mod. And as you can see, I cleared out all the stuff, a lot of the stuff. I cleaned up some of the land, so we had nice, good place, good, how do you say it? Building land is what I wanted to say. Yes, 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 indeed. I made good building land. Okay, and so for today's episode, yeah, we're building. Also, I learned a couple neat tricks, by the way, that I didn't know before. Like, I didn't know if I did like a fill, I could clear a lot of land. Like, I was actually just cutting each piece of sand by hand, and it was really annoying. Anyways, so for this final episode, I just wanna, I said it earlier, we're gonna build what our dream restaurant would be in creative. Gross. Gross. Get out of here. Get out of here. We're gonna build our dream restaurant, and here's my plan is essentially right here we're gonna have here we're gonna build the restaurant. That's the plan. I want to build something here, make it look really nice and neat, and then I want to build something nice over here too, and that's essentially going to be the plan. Is that we're gonna make a bunch of nice buildings and it's gonna be very nice. And while we build, because I'm not sure how much commentary I'm not a builder. I can't really be like, here's the technique I'm using. I don't know how to build. It's all coming from the heart, the soul, if you would. So it's all coming from the heart. So I'm just gonna try my very, very darndest and my very bestest. That is the plan. But I think I do want to like talk about like some, little stuff. Like maybe like, oh, what have I checked out recently, Like, oh, maybe I've seen something fun. Oh, I should toss these. And we will talk about it. So that's the plan. But first we need to decide on what we're gonna use. I want to use ooh. So I wanted to like talk during like the building, like like make little comments while I build, but then I actually started doing it and I realized, oh man, I sure do suck at talking and focusing at the same time. That's crazy. Anyways, so I figured instead, while you watch me build silently, no audio. Then I guess I'll just ramble about a couple things, not too many things, a couple things, It's so awkward because I'm like, I don't know what to talk about. Ah! I can focus on talking now, but I don't know what to talk about. Ah! Okay, so I guess to start, I saw two really good pilots actually. Like, not like I saw one of them like the other day and another one like a hot minute ago, and like for me, like I don't really like focus too heavily on like indie animation, indie media. Like I just if it's glitch, I'll watch it. Like I watched the Digital Circus. I'm really interested in watching more of the Gaslight District. I haven't seen Murder Drones. A friend recommended it to me. He's like, hey, you should go watch this, and I'm like, at some point maybe. I don't know. I didn't realize that the person who made Murder Drones was the one who made that one pilot for the show with that like spider girl. Like I don't know what she was, but I didn't know that until I looked into Murder Drones, and I'm like, wait a minute, oh my god. I actually really love that pilot, and I'm really sad that there's never any more, but that's besides the point. But otherwise, I'm like, if I see like a little indie animation, maybe like a pilot, I'll check it out, you know, and just if I'm bored. But overall, like, you know, like I don't do it too often. And some of them have been like not the most interesting, but you know, people put their passion into it. And for that, I can commend them and be like, I could never do anything like that. So like already it's like a 10 out of 10, you know? But yeah, that's besides the point. The point is, and why I speak of this is because I saw, I'll talk about the most recent one I saw was the Knights of Guinevere, which I thought was really, really good. I liked it a lot. I liked the vibe of it. I really liked the characters. I think they looked really nice. I love the design of Guinevere. And like all like the freaky designs and all the alternate designs. I love it. I think it's cool. I love how it was introduced. It was really, really interesting. It hooked me. I was engaged. I was intrigued. It was very, very intriguing. It was good though. I liked it. I feel like I should have more to say, but like I just I don't know. It's like I feel like there's a difference between me liking something and me being like, oh my god, this is the best thing since sliced bread. It's a very thin line to cross over, but like that's kind of where my mind is at. I really liked it though. It was really, really good. Like a solid 10 out of 10. I'm really excited to see what else is gonna come up next. It was a very good pilot, is what I shall say. And then the other one, the one that I'm like more like, whoa, is more so just because it really tickled like a nostalgic like bone in my body. And that's the pilot by someone named Pixapan, who I knew of them. I watched like one or two of their videos, but I knew they were pretty like in the cartoon scene and all that kind of stuff. But I just wasn't super like, you know, I didn't watch them super often or like hardly. But anyways, I saw their pilot Loki IRL and I'm like, oh, who this guy is, I remember him, I'll check it out. And I just ended up loving it like so much. And it's so funny because like a big reason why I really liked it was because it felt so nostalgic to me. Like I could imagine, like the whole time I was watching it, I'm like, I could totally imagine this being on like Cartoon Network watching this show and then being like a little like 10-13-year-old around that age being like, oh my god, this is the best thing since sliced bread. I need to make my own OC. I need to make my own character. This is what my IRL would look like if I had it, like my OC. So yeah, I really liked it. It really like reminded me of like those old cartoons that I used to watch, and I'm like, oh, it was so good. And I really loved like the concept of it. It was really, really interesting. And I love the main character and Loki, you know? I'm like, they're great. I love them. It's so good. It was so good. I really, really loved it. I'm really, really excited for more on that one. I hope that one gets the attention that it deserves, rightfully so. There were some sections where it was kind of like a little like jank, but then, you know, in the beginning they're like, hey, so this was worked on a computer that was kind of so please be advised, and I am advised, and acknowledging that it was really good nonetheless, and I really, really liked it. I guess on the next topic, like, oh my gosh, there's like, I feel like there's like quite a couple of like games coming out. Like, I don't know what I don't know what kind. I was gonna say like the gacha scene, but like I don't actually know. I only say that because there's one game that I'm really, really interested in, and that's Chaos. I forgot the name. I forgot the name, but I'm really interested in that one, and I was just looking into it, I think like a couple days ago, and I'm like, oh, because I think I was, no, how did I don't remember. I have such a terrible memory, but I saw that they were doing like open betas, like, hey, I have an open beta, if you wanna check it out, you can come check it out. And I'm like, oh my god, that is literally screaming my name. I gotta check it out. So I applied, not really thinking about it, and then it was the day after, they're like, oh, we announced all the people who are in, check your emails, check your accounts, and I was like, oh, I remember I applied to that, I should check that. And I went to check, and lo and behold, I got in, and I was like so excited. I'm like, I've never been in an open beta before, this is so cool, it's just so awesome. So I was just like, I was freaking out. I was like, I'm so excited. So I started playing it, and I really like the game. I actually really, really liked it. I think it's a lot of fun. It's like a roguelite meets gacha, and it's so fun, and I really like it. It's so good. That's so good. That's so good. I had like one character where I was just pulling off combo after combo after combo. I was drawing out my whole deck. I'm like, oh, quality content. And then I had the energy to back up all that card drawing, and I'm like, that was so good. It's a really, I really enjoyed it. It was really fun. Obviously, there's like, you know, typical gacha elements where it's like, hey, you got your lewd waifus over here, and you know, you got the waifus with the big bazonga honkas, like all out there. But it was still really fun, and I really liked it, and I really liked the design of it, and it's really good. So I'm really excited for that. I'm really excited for like the full release. I really want to play it. I have not gotten into a gacha game since like the whole thing went down with Tribe 9. I got into the Persona 5 one, but then I don't know why, but for some reason it was really, really laggy on my computer, like an obscene amount of lag. That I'm just like, and my computer's not like bad. It can handle itself well, but like I couldn't handle it. I didn't like it. I'm like, no, it's too much lag. I love Persona. I'm not a big fan of Persona 5, but I like Persona, and I'm like, I can't do it. I just can't do it. So I haven't really been playing a lot of gacha games when I used to play like a stupid amount. But yeah, so I'm really excited for that game to come out. And then there's also like a couple other gacha games that are coming out that I'm kind of like keeping my eye open for, like Anata and the new Hoyo game that's like a Pokemon thing. And then well, this isn't a gacha game, but like the MMO, like Blue Protocol. My friends want to check that out, and they're like, hey, we should all play this. And I'm like, hey, I'm kind of burned out on MMOs. And they're like, come on. And I'm like, okay, I'll try it out, I guess. So yeah, I'm just there's a couple of games to look out for, and I'm a little excited for, you know. Gotta keep the games up and then quit them like a month later. I'm not doing that to Chaos though. I'm not doing it to that game. That's gonna be my new Tribe 9, and I've already made that promise in my heart that that's gonna be my new Tribe 9. You wanna know what's a crazy topic that I've like had on my mind for like a minute, you know? I feel like this gets like more and more relevant the more my life goes on. But it's essentially the idea, the conversation of like, how is one person received by another, you know? How are they perceived by another, and then another, and then another, and then how do you yourself perceive yourself, you know? And this is a topic that's always been like in the back of my mind, and like I've always been like thinking about it, because I think that topic in of itself is very, very fascinating. Like one of my favorite videos is like this sort of short where it discusses like it discusses sort of like the different ways people see one another or see like a person. Like to some people you're like, oh, you're the cheery like guy, or like, oh, you're this like quiet sad guy, or like you're the guy who just never stops talking, or the guy who never speaks up, you know? Like different people know you for different things, and they can have different impressions of you, and then the end of the day it's like it's all still you, and none of them will ever will ever be the impression that you yourself have, of what you think you are. But even then, it's like, how are you so sure that that is the truest form of yourself, because people have like self-doubt and just sort of just general things like that, where even your own mind can interpret yourself in a different way. But anyways, the reason why this is such an interesting topic to me is always because I'm just so fascinated with like the self and like how it's viewed in different areas, or like how other people deal with things. Like let's say like there's a fire, like how do different people handle it? How do they think? What's the rationale? Stuff like that is just super, super fascinating to me. But I guess like I just don't know how to like properly explain why it's so fascinating to me. I just think that in general though, it's a super interesting how a person's impression can affect somebody else. Like I was talking the other day with like some friends of mine, and they were discussing how someone that they are acquaintances with, but I am friends with, they're like, oh, I don't like that person, I don't feel like I don't like this person because of a situation that happened in the past, because they did this in the past, because they were like this in the past. And that's so fascinating to me, because to me, this person is like, oh, they're like, not to like delve into like their self, but like there's someone who like I think is very sweet. They're very kind. They're, I will admit, at times like a bit much. Like sometimes they do things that I'm not really like okay with, but like I know their intentions are good and they just want to hang out and they just want to have fun. And like if I dead ass went, oh, I'm not in the mood for it, stop asking, they would shut up, like they wouldn't keep talking. So I know that their intentions aren't bad, and I think that they're a good person. And then to hear these other friends be like, oh, I don't think the best of them because of these things in the past. And the idea that those things in the past, which is from years ago, still affects how they view that person versus how I view that person is super interesting to me. Like, it's so crazy how, like, these people can have different opinions of you and, like, how different views of you. And it's like, oh, are we talking about the same person? And we are. Because the things that they discussed are things that were true. They are based in reality. They occurred. That was them at a point, and that's an impression that stuck with them. And I don't know. I just, it's such an interesting topic. And like another thing, right? Like I had another friend who was discussing about how, oh, my friends say this about me, and like this is how they view me, and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, well, I view you like this. I view you as silly and funny, and like you're a really quirky person. Like it's just varying different. There are so many versions of you that exist, so many different people, and I feel like not a single one of them is the same. And I don't know. It's so stupid, but I'm so deeply invested in that because I think it's just so fascinating how perceptions and things like that work. And I don't know why I'm so obsessed with it. Okay, not obsessed. Obsessed is crazy. I think at one point I was, because I really used to like first impression stories a lot, because I think that's also very telling of how someone's perception is of somebody else. But not anymore. Like I'm not obsessed. But at one point I was, and I just think in general it's like a very interesting conversation, and I think it's really cool. And I just think it's really cool, and I think it's really awesome, and I really like hearing about people's perceptions. I feel like the obviously I'm like, oh, I was saying why I don't know why I have this thing. I think though it stems from a place where like I won't go into details about like why I was like this, but like for a very like decent part of my life, I had like how do you say, like I had issues with myself, like my self-identity, and not really connecting with it at all at any like ground level. And I don't know, I just felt so disconnected from myself that I ended up wanting to view other people, and I used to people watch a lot, like just kind of sit at my window, see people walking by and be like, huh, neat. I wonder what they're doing, kind of stuff, you know? Because I was so fascinated and like, oh, I wonder what they're thinking. I wonder what they're doing. I wonder what their motivations are for doing what they're doing. Even if it's like super mundane, like, oh, they're just going home, they're going to the store, it doesn't really matter. But like, I just so fascinated because I was so disconnected from my own self that I was like latching on to other people to try to feel their senses of self, essentially. And so I ended up latching on to like that whole thing of being like, oh man, I'm really curious about what this person thinks about this thing and how they view that thing, and blah, 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 blah. Even now though, even when I feel like I've rediscovered my sense of how do you I say how do you say because I'm trying to think of the word. I swear I'm not stupid. I lost my place. I lost my thought. I lost my train of thought. Oh my god. I feel like even though I have rediscovered like my own sense of self, and I feel confident in that version of my sense of self, I'm still super fascinated and like people's impressions and how they view others and like how the mind sort of works in that sort of category of human connection. I don't know. I think it's such a weird thing to fixate on, but I like my basis on it was like I didn't have a sense of self at one point, and that's why it happened. And then even to this day, even when I've rediscovered my sense of self, I'm like, I'm still really interested in this. This is really interesting. I think it's really cool. And I still like first impression stories. They're really fun. And they also kind of give you a glimpse of like how like what interactions started as versus what they are now. I think that's super interesting. I don't know. Weird topic, but anyways. And so we're back, and the build is finally done. It is before me. I don't know what I made. But now we will take you on a tour of my dream restaurant after all that building, where there are some parts I didn't record because I just forgot to record. Look at it. Oh, if you remember what the place looked like, I'll put a photo of, but like that's what it used to look like, and this is what it looks like now. It's a tree island. Okay, let's land. Our beautiful place, you know, it's got a bunch of trees. I like these wisteria trees a lot. So I planted like a dork ton of them. And then we walk all the way to the restaurant, covered in these vines, and then we walk in, and it's very clean and nice, and we got all this food here, you know, take a seat. Oh, I'm eating my food. And then I put all the flowers in here. That's really pretty. Oh, I died, and those balloons are kind of floating there. But yeah, it's so very pretty. Oh my god. And then we have our chefs. We have Jasper, we have Jason, we have Jedediah, Jeremiah, Johanna. Who else do we got here? We got Jack, you know, Jack's a good worker. And then we have Jamie over here. And this is the restaurant. It's very clean. It's very simple, but I think it's very cute. I love the open air concept to it, you know? It's very cute. I like it a lot. And then, moving onwards, you know, if you want to get out of the restaurant and maybe go take a little walk, you just come out here, and it's real nice and pretty. And we have this little pond here full of fishies. These little rainbow fishies are so nice. And then you can walk over here and you'll take a little bridge trip and walk up, and then the gazebo. Oh, it's so pretty. The gazebo. Oh my goodness. We have our pretty gazebo. And then if you walk this way, this is the path of just like, you know, nothing much here. It's just a bunch of flat land. And then you can reach all the way here to the lighthouse. And then this place was merely like, not merely, but like kind of untouched, you know? Not much going on over here. Whoa. Oh gosh, But then, you know, we walk around, and then we go here. And this is because I wanted to bring back all like the dark oak trees. So I just planted a bunch of dark oak trees in this land, and I made this cute little bench where you can just sit down and look at how pretty it is. Like, I would come here. I would come visit this place. This is so pretty. I like it a lot. And it's all just forest over here, you know? Oh, there's a wandering trader here. There's just a bunch of forest, and there's a bunch of animals, and it's very cutesy, very lovely. And then this area too is just a bunch of trees, but if you go over here, it's like a tiny little dock. If you ever wanted to sail across the 7 seas. But yeah, that's the whole island, essentially. I honestly really like it. I spent I feel like it was just a bunch of me learning how to like essentially like I was just planting a bunch of trees, trying to figure out what I wanted to go for the roof, because I really like this like sort of design of it. And I was having like a struggle. I was like struggling with trying to figure out how I wanted to do it, and then I ultimately figured, oh, the white leaves are so pretty, and I really like the vines on it that are growing. My only complaint is that they're way too bright. I wish they were a little darker so that, you know, it fit the wood and the leaves. And then I found out about this where you can put the leaves on it, and it looks super pretty. I love it so much. I love this. This is my favorite area too. I love it. And then I added the smokers so that they could, like, you know, like actually look like chefs. And then it's like, I just found a bunch of these gummy fish, and I really like them because they're really cute. So there are some gummy fish here. Yeah. It's very cute. It's very adorable. I didn't do nothing down here. You know, all I did here was I just tried to light it up. Let me see what happens if I put it on, hold on. We'll go normal. Oh. Here's some mobs that have spawned. Oh, yeah, and there's some, what is this? Oh, the zombie villager. That's crazy. Oh yeah, some mobs do spawn here, you know. It ain't all safe in these woods, in these part of the woods. So nice though. Oh yeah, over here on the beach. These aren't safe beaches. You can't go swimming on these beaches. They're dangerous. Yeah, let's get these mobs out of here. They're cramping my style right now. Alright. But yeah, this is my island. My island funland. Honestly, I really like it. I don't know. There's something about like really like pretty forests that I just kind of am a sucker for. Like even this where I'm just spamming a bunch of trees, I really like it. I love nature. I love nature. Ah! Saying that kind of reminds me of when I used to go camping with like my family. Back when for some reason they had a really big camping itch that they needed to scratch. But that was years ago. But yeah, that's so fun. Funnily enough, I feel like I spent like the least time on the actual restaurant part of this versus like getting all of this, because I was also learning how to do like the slash fill, and then I was doing that like for a lot of this, like clearing this area of sand and making it all flat. And then over here, you know, this used to be a lot more like tall, and I cleared that, so it's very even ground. But yeah, this is it. This is it. Oh, also it does look like a lot nicer at night, I will say. If we set the day to like a day, like it still looks really like nice, but like it's got such a different vibe at night. Oh, let's set it to raining. Well, fellow heroes, I guess with that being said, that's the end of this mod pack. Yippee! It's wrapped. It's a wrap. It's done. We're finito with it. No more cooking, and now we move on to. Oh my god, this is actually a really pretty site. We move on to different. How do you? New horizons. There we go. We're moving on to new horizons, and I can't wait to see what What do we see next? I already know, but oh, that was so mysterious. Ooh, well, I guess we'll never know until next week. Or like the week after, I don't know anymore. My upload schedule has been kind of lacking lately. I ruined my sleeping schedule again, that's why. But you know what? Details. We don't gotta worry about that. Anyways, fellow heroes, with that being said, have a lovely day, night, or evening. Please remember that you are lovely, you are amazing, and you are valued. And I'll see you all next time. Goodbye. Oh, it's supposed to be more cinematic, but then I forgot about that, but yeah. Goodbye.